This is my R3 RX8, one of only about 500 produced. You can tell because it's got the longer side rockers, Recaro seats, couple interior things. It's got better wheels, but I sold them. Anyways, I drift this car all the time. At least once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on the events in Arizona. But this car is dying. Show you guys a quick little compression test here. For reference, 120 is factory, 100 is about the acceptable range, maybe 95. I think my worst one is about 70, so it's not looking too good for me. But what does that leave me with? I have an REW engine, came out of the FD RX7. I also could rebuild this engine. Both of those options are, however, very expensive. Putting in the REW engine is $15K plus. Rebuilding this engine in the way that I want to rebuild it would be about $8,000. And that would be non-turbo, even though I really want to. I have a turbo for the car. Again, it's expensive. So, obviously, my only option is this right here, an LS, a 5.3 out of I think it's out of a 2005 Avalanche, doesn't really matter. I've also got a T56 from a Camaro. But yeah, this is what I'm going with. As you can see, it's not much. Came with the wire harness. I'm going to be getting a different one. But yeah, I'm going LS. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but I want to get competitive in drifting. And to be honest, when I first bought this car, I did not know there were only 500 R3s. I promise I'll do it justice one day. I will put the FD engine in it, single turbo. It'll be awesome. One day. For now, an LS swap is what's going to happen. So I figure we'll take a quick look at all the parts I currently have, and then I'll show you some of the things we still need. So this is the intake that came with the engine. It's a truck intake. It's really tall, and I won't be able to close the hood. So I picked up an LS6 intake, which is a lot smaller as far as this goes, and it adds like 50 horsepower over this one, which is pretty crazy. I've also got some just stock Camaro headers. I've got a different wire harness because the one that came with the truck is automatic transmission and a couple other like emissions things, and I don't care about those. So this harness gets rid of all that stuff and is compatible with the manual transmission. I also have a low profile rear sump oil pan. It's baffled, it's pretty cool. It should be good for drifting. It also has 8 AN ports at the side, so I can run a cooler and a remote mount oil filter. And then over here I've got cams, springs, and this is sold by a company called All Out Tuning, and this is what they call their skid stick. It's specifically for drifting. It offers higher RPMs. And they're also going to be the people tuning my car, so we will talk a little more about them in a later video when it comes time to do that. And then this is just a couple miscellaneous parts that I got, all of them oil related. And yeah, so this is just about everything I've got right now, but there's like thousands of dollars of things I still need to get. But funny enough, all of this is still cheaper than rebuilding the Renesis, and I'll have a lot more horsepower. So let's take a look at the things I still need. All right, so this is my board here, RX8. That's what I've decided to call this. And I've got just about everything I need to do / get for this car to start running. Little key here, if it's underlined in green, that means I have it. So as I progress through this, you'll see this board in every episode, and we'll take a look at it. So just a couple notable things I still need. I'm going to go with an E36 rack and pinion and a WiseFab kit to attach that. I'm not going to get their whole front kit because it's very expensive and I don't have the money for it. And then I'm also going to go with a fuel cell because controlling the RX8's fuel tank is really difficult and I don't care to do that. So yeah, we will see all of this in the next episode about this engine swap. So yeah. Now I will also say I've been through some good times with this car. Absolutely thrash on it. You can see here the plasti dip is all beat up. That's because the tires explode all the time, because I'm absolutely pushing this car. I've also got this huge spoiler, roll cage from Cage Kits. I've got a Corbeau seat, steering wheel, signed by Kyle Mohan. No, he does not know about the LS swap. Kyle, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I promise I'll go back to rotaries one day. But for now, I want to get competitive in drifting. And there's a reason the LS platform absolutely dominates in FD and just about every other drift competition in the world, because it's cheap. So, you might be wondering, when is all this happening? Not yet. I have a drift event that I already bought tickets for on New Year's, so I'm going to be going to that. And then we'll see if I have all the parts ready. If I do, I'll just go ahead and start. If I don't have all the parts, then I'm just going to wait until I get all the parts. That's pretty much what's holding me back. I want to make sure I have everything before I start, so I don't end up in Thomas's situation with a non-running car for a couple of months. So I just want to be able to get this swap done in a month or two. We'll see how well that holds up. But yeah, that's the plan. If you're interested in following along in me absolutely ruining this R3 RX8, one of only 500, like I said, go ahead, hit that subscribe, like, comment, tell me how much you hate this idea, tell me how much you love this idea. Let me know. See you next week when we are working on Thomas's car.